My name is MarySue Barrett, and I'm president of the Metropolitan Planning Council. I'm so pleased that you've decided to spend your time with us today. I do see a lot of familiar faces in the crowd, and I also see some new ones, which is terrific because our secret agenda today is that you get to know a few people around you a little bit better, and that you decide to join forces with MPC to get some good things done for our city, region, and state. We are really excited to hear from our two candidates for Illinois governor today. We will hear from Governor Pat Quinn and from Mr. Bruce Rauner. WBBM News Radio political editor Craig Dellamore is prepped to keep the candidates on their toes and to deliver a program today that I promise will not disappoint. I'm pleased to welcome the many elected officials that are in the room today. They made it a priority to join us. Their names are listed now on the screens before you. So if you are one of these elected officials, I would ask you to please stand. We'd like to recognize you in a moment. And I just noted something that as I was reviewing this list, not that we are competitive, in fact, we kind of stand for regional cooperation, but there are about 8 state officials, about 8 county officials, and 12 local government officials. Just saying. So I wanted to recognize at whatever level, county, regional, state, federal, all of our elected officials that joined us in the room today. Let's give them a big round of applause. I also want to raise a glass to our sponsors today, but most especially our presenting sponsor, PNC Bank, and its leader, Scott Swanson. You know, PNC has been our presenting sponsor for 9 years running now, and their commitment to this region, to improving its quality of life, to building on its diversified economy is unparalleled. So a big thank you to PNC for making today possible. Today's event is a success in addition because of our 8 sponsors at the $25,000 lead level. And I want to tell you just a little bit about those folks. Starting alphabetically with Allstate, who through our board member, Mike Thomas, is encouraging MPC's expanded focus on the role of public safety in building stronger communities. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois, who also sponsored this year's 2014 Placemaking Challenge, and who through our board member, Karen Atwood, is a partner in supporting healthy, vibrant communities, both in Chicago and around our region. BMO Harris Bank and our board member, Kyle Barnett, who is helping us figure out how MPC can innovate on innovative infrastructure finance. One of my mentors, MPC board member Lester Crown and the Crown Family Foundation. We will be hearing from Les in just a moment as he presents an award to his good friend, Jim Farrell. Globetrotters Engineering Corporation, which shares MPC's deep commitment to making the infrastructure of our city, state, and country work smarter. MPC board member King Harris and the Harris Family Foundation. King was our energetic board chair during the years 2011 and 2012, and he continues to play a key role guiding our housing initiatives as an MPC Senior Fellow. JP Morgan Chase, who through our board member, Matt Ryline, is really stepping up its support to vibrant communities built around our transit assets, which will improve walkable communities. And Walgreens, which is listed last only alphabetically, definitely not in our hearts, who has been a consistent supporter of MPC for an amazing 34 years. Please join me in saluting our lead sponsors for their commitment to solving our region's problems. We're also deeply grateful to our 14 benefactors at the $10,000 level: Bank of America, the Boeing Company, Rita and John Canning, Cole Taylor Bank, ComEd and Exelon Company, Jim Gordon, Greg Jones, and Dave Tolmie, the Edgewater Funds, MPC board member John S. Gates Jr., GCM Grosvenor, Illinois Toolworks, Inc., Mr. and Mrs. John H. Krybill Jr., McDonald's Corporation, the Northern Trust Corporation, PricewaterhouseCoopers, and Wintrust Commercial Banking. And you can also consult your programs for the numerous $5,000 table sponsors and our $500 and up individual friend ticket purchasers who also made today a great success. Thank you again to you all. The net result of all of this support and your interest is that we broke a new record today. Today's event is raising more than $730,000, which beats last year's record by $100,000. And you are part of more than 1,000 people in this room today. So thank you again for your excitement and interest in solving our region's complex problems. And of course, Chicago has a lot to teach the rest of the country. So good ideas that work here help cities and regions everywhere. Now I'm very pleased to introduce Scott Swanson. Scott is PNC Bank's regional president for Illinois. And Scott is a longtime resident here and a true leader in the banking community and the civic community. I've known Scott for quite a few years, and so I'm especially delighted that he could be here to kick us off today. Please welcome Scott Swanson.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Great to be here and to see such a fantastic audience for a very important event. And MarySue, thank you for your kind introduction. I certainly can say the same for you, an incredible leader for many years across sectors and a longtime cohort in making this region a better place to live and do business. So thank you very much. PNC is pleased to support the work of the Metropolitan Planning Council and be presenting sponsor of today's luncheon. For 80 years, MPC has worked with businesses, communities, and governments to address the region's toughest planning and development challenges. PNC Bank is proud to support MPC in unlocking this region's full potential. PNC's 3,000 employees in the Chicagoland area are proud to give back to the communities in which we live to work, from civic programs to PNC's significant commitment to early childhood education. We are committed to making a difference to the future of our great region. Now, I am truly honored to introduce Monsignor Kenneth Velo, who will give today's invocation. For most of you, Monsignor Velo probably needs no introduction. For 30 years, he's been a Catholic priest serving the Archdiocese of Chicago and an active leader in the city's civic community. Many know him as the face of DePaul University, and many others, including myself, have had the honor of working alongside Monsignor Velo on behalf of the Big Shoulders Fund, which I know under his leadership and as president and now co-chairman has raised millions of dollars to aid more than 24,000 students in 93 inner-city Chicago Catholic schools. Please welcome Monsignor Velo, who will give today's invocation.
Thank you, Scott, and congratulations to the Metropolitan Planning Council for selecting Jim Farrell, a civic leader and a business leader extraordinaire. Pat and Bruce, I just would like to express the concern of a lot of people in this room today. There's just not enough political advertising on television. It was Lou Holst who spoke not long ago at a place nearby and said there are 3 things for success. He said the first. He said, do what is correct. The second, give 100%. And the third, each day, do something kind for someone. Do what is correct. There's a right way to do things and a wrong way. There's always a best choice. It's sort of what I tell the young people at DePaul University when they start in freshman year. I always tell them, don't do anything you can't explain on national television. Give 100%, because if you win, or if you get through, or if everything is successful, you know you gave it your all. And if it's not successful, you know that you tried as well as you could have. And last, do something kind for someone every day. In the Jewish tradition, it's a mitzvah, a kindness done for someone when few other people know about it. Abraham Lincoln, the son of Illinois, said, "Kindness is like the snow. It makes all things beautiful." And so, for a planning council, for individuals, those three things I believe are important. Do what is right, give it 100%, and be kind. Today, as we move forward, we ask God to bless all of the families represented in this room, all the friendship that is ours, and the future of this great metropolitan area. We ask God, in particular, this day, to watch over those who are hungry in Chicago. May they have bread, and may we who have bread always hunger for justice and peace. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monsignor Velo. That was a stirring reminder of the importance of all of us banding together to get good things done, and that we are stronger together. We've been reflecting on our purpose this year, which is something that you get to do when you turn 80 years old. It is both humbling and inspiring to lead an organization with an 8-decade history of problem solving and improving this city and this region. We try to make it a better place to live and work every day. We couldn't do this work without our talented staff and without a dedicated group of volunteers. Earlier this year, we spent an evening celebrating one of those volunteers, our longest-serving board member, John Baird, former chairman of Baird and Warner, who passed away in December at the age of 98. He served on MPC's board for more than 60 years, which I bet might be a civic record, and his principled leadership continues to inspire us today. Indeed, MPC's successes are intertwined with Metropolitan Chicago's strong civic fabric. I get calls, not infrequently, from metropolitan leaders around the country, and they ask me a version of this question: how exactly did Chicago pull that off? Well, there's a lot of secret ingredients to our success, but what MPC tries to do is sift through competing data to get to the truth, bring people together around the art of the possible, those pragmatic, innovative solutions, and then work across government, business, and community leaders to get things done. Many of you are part of that, and we're grateful. As our logo implies, MPC connects the dots, which make solutions possible. What else drives our work? Well, I hope you'll look at the screens to watch this video for a few more answers. You know, for 80 years now, the Metropolitan Planning Council has been a problem solver, working across institutions to get things done, to solve the biggest challenges for our region. One of the reasons why Chicago and this entire region is such a terrific laboratory for change is that we've got all the ingredients. We have an engaged business community, we have strong partnerships that connect those private sector leaders with government, with community leaders.
We understand how important it is to bring our volunteers together to get good ideas, and that's the backbone of MPC.
The Metropolitan Planning Council always holds ourselves to the standard of bringing new ideas forward and then helping make them happen. We're doing that today on bus rapid transit, on congestion pricing, and a new land bank in Cook County. In our crazy busy lives, time is definitely money. With congestion pricing, the idea is to make better use of our existing roadways, and you do that by using market mechanisms, by pricing a certain corridor and lanes so that if you're short on time and willing to pay a little bit more to get there faster, you have that choice. And we're excited that Chicagoland is joining other regions in experimenting with this new tool. Bus rapid transit is a big new idea, but that means it takes a little while to get used to. So the Metropolitan Planning Council is partnering with government. While they do the technical engineering work, we're talking to folks. We're reaching out to chambers, neighborhood associations, residents whose lives will be affected and bettered by a new form of transit in the Central Loop and along Ashland Avenue. A couple years ago, Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle approached the Metropolitan Planning Council and asked us to lead an advisory group to shape a new entity that was desperately needed. Today, the Cook County Land Bank is the largest in the country, and it's hard at work putting vacant land to productive use. If you bring together the best minds and the best information, truly listen to people and test out those ideas on the ground, any challenge can be turned into an opportunity.
MPC has been doing this for 80 years and will continue to do this for another 80 years.
John Quincy Adams said the following: "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader." There's no one I've met who this quote applies to better than Mr. Lester Crown, chairman of Henry Crown and Company and an MPC board member since 1992. I've been consistently inspired by his commitment to so many Chicago causes and national and international causes. And I know many of you in the room feel the same way. You know, his friends call him Les, but he's the one who inspires us all to do more every day to improve this place we call home. That's why in 2009, MPC chose to honor Les Crown with our Champion Fighter Award, which we occasionally bestow on individuals who have exemplified the concept of responsible leadership on improving the Chicagoland region. It's not an honor that we give lightly, and so we are delighted that this year Les has agreed to present our award. Please join me in welcoming Lester Crown.
Thank you, Mary Sue. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a problem, and I really need your help. My assignment today was to introduce and say some original nice things about the 2014 Champion Fighter Award for Jim Farrell for his really extraordinary contributions to the entire city. Now, most of you in this room, if not all of you, have attended a number of similar events like this, where Jim Farrell has been praised to the heavens and thanked for just about everything imaginable. Everyone, and I really think about everyone, already knows that he is an unbelievably loyal human being, having spent his entire business career with one company, ITW. There are those who have contended that he could get another job, and there are those who disagree. Now, he came up from what his fictional biography said was assistant to the assistant office boy when he started at ITW, and after 30 years, he became its CEO, in an office that he held for 11 years. Now, that is a true Horatio Alger story. That is, if anyone in the audience knows who Horatio Alger is. If you don't, Google. The market cap of ITW literally exploded from $100 million in 1965 when Jim started to $27 billion in 2006 when he retired. And again, his fictional biography says he was responsible for every single penny of the increase. Yeah, like you, I doubt it. In addition, he has served on many, many civic boards, the Federal Reserve of Chicago, Abbott, Northwestern University, Big Shoulders, Junior Achievement, Lyric Opera, and he's been just a true leader in just about every way. There's no question also that he did a terrific job at the Museum of Science and Industry. He spent 6 years as its chairman, and then another 7 years as the chairman of the Capital Campaign, which raised over $200 million. And during that time, 85% of their exhibits were renewed. Jim also was the author and led the fight for real pension reform in the state of Illinois, but you really know how far that got us. When I think of all of these things, I also think that as a shareholder of ITW, I begin to question how he could spend so much time away from the company that he was being overpaid to run. And the only explanation that I ever got was when somebody whispered very quietly in my ear one day, "The company seems to do better when he's away." Now, he has also been described with just about every complimentary, laudatory, praiseworthy adjective in Roget's Thesaurus, but I don't want you to take my word for it, so I'd like you to listen to Andy McKenna and see what he has to say.
Thanks, Les. What an honor to be here with you and Jim Farrell. Jim represents everything that's good about Chicago, everything that's good about our entire community. The opportunity to mix his personal life and his private life, as well as his business and corporate life, and what he's done so many times civically. Jim, your leadership of the Civic Committee, your leadership of the United Way, and of course your chairmanship of Museum of Science and Industry are just a few things that point out the strength that Jim Farrell brings to any occasion. But most important, you also led ITW during some very, very important years. And you know, there are people who say things and do things, and people who say things and don't do things. Jim is clearly the former. He's a doer. He provides great leadership, a great example for all of us, and a very, very deserving honoree of this very special award.
You know, like you, I do agree with Andy, but I want to tell you, in the back of my mind, I know there is a dark side to Jim Farrell. I just haven't been able to unearth it. And so while I keep digging and others do the same, I've been asked to present MPC's 2014 Champion Fighter Award to really one of the nicest guys I've ever known, the same W. James Farrell.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Lester. I really appreciate your remarks. And thanks to Andy McKenna, of course, on the screen, bigger than life, as he always is. And thank you, all of you, for being here. Yeah, I'm actually troubled also, but there's so many things I'd like to talk about, but I'm going to keep to the script, I think. I knew this was an important luncheon. Any luncheon that has on the agenda Monsignor Velo as the invocation speaker is an important luncheon. So I'm happy to be here, and thank you very much, Ken. I'm truly honored to receive the Council's Champion Fighter Award, but I have to tell you today, I feel a little bit like the palooka on the undercard. I'm looking for what's palooka? So just like Lester said, Google it. Because the real heavyweights will be along in a few minutes. And like all of you, I'm interested to see how they're going to field these questions, how they're going to bob and weave with the questions, how they're going to deliver the punchline. So I'm not going to hold you up too much longer so we can get to the festivities. As Lester hinted, I've been lucky enough to receive many awards, deserved and otherwise. And this one is especially gratifying, I think, because I truly believe that the Metropolitan Planning Council's work is essential to Chicago's past, present, and future success. Some people think of the council as a big picture organization, one that tackles transportation, education, housing, efficiency in government. And these things are important. But the council also works every day at the street level. I don't know whether you know that or not. On the ground, down the block, and around the corner. As MarySue mentioned 2 weeks ago, they sponsored a placemaking event to help neighborhoods transform areas that were in need of transformation. So from Rogers Park to Austin to Brownsville to Blue Island, folks came to reclaim pieces of their neighborhood where they live and they work and where their children play. That's the real Chicago. And I'm not a native to Chicago, so I feel like I have some authority in saying this. This is a fabulous greater Chicagoland area. It's a wonderful place to live and work. I recognized that right away when we arrived here some 45 years ago. A place that will give you a chance, a place that you can take a chance, and where you can put yourself out there and do things you've never thought possible. Like those little leaguers, the Jackie Robinson West kids. I think we should round of applause for those kids. We learned from their example, when you work hard and you work together, you can achieve anything when you level the playing field and give everyone a chance to win. That's what the MPC is all about, and that's why I'm especially pleased to accept this award. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the program.